What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com from the Facebook page again. Check it out, guys. This one comes from Daniel Milford Robertson. Control junk food carbs for pre-workout fuel hypertrophy or strength training workouts using donuts or ice cream. In my opinion, I've always done better on cleaner forms of carbohydrate pre-workout. I've always gotten like tummy issues, stomach issues from eating those yummy carbs like ice cream or donuts. And frankly, if my daughter has a soccer game, I want her to refrain from having potato chips, McDonald's, and not that she eats that anyway, but I don't want any of the kids I train either. I've always been of the mindset, it might be old school, it might not be hip, hell, it might not even be right, but you are what you eat and you want to fuel yourself with high-octane fuel. And in my opinion, high-octane fuel is not sugary donuts or, nasty sugar-laden ice cream. Well, I'm sorry, delicious sugar-laden ice cream. I want to see more controlled carbohydrate. Personally, for pre-workout, I recommend Carb 10. It has that, it gets in your system really fast, really well, but it doesn't have that insulin spike, so you don't have the crash. I also like it post-workout. Now, if you're dealing with whole foods, if I'm going into a race or something and I can afford the volume in my stomach, I want something like a slow-burning source like oatmeal. I want to have a banana for its potassium as well. For strength-type sports, you're looking at the same thing, but also for strength, you don't really need to carb load because you're not really tapping into those energy stores. You're tapping into ATP, and hell, I've been at bodybuilding shows where bodybuilders have been backstage smoking and still look really, really good. I mean, you're not looking at a very aerobically based energy system use. You know what I mean? It's more based on ATP, it's based on muscular endurance, muscular strength. It's less based on the cardiovascular system. And also you're not really tapping into glycogen stores. Where for a strength type sport, if you're doing strongman, absolutely you want to have carbohydrate. And I want to see a good, slow burning, clean carbohydrate source. Now, that's not to say that it isn't okay to load up on some pancakes or something that pre-event. But if you're looking at a daily thing where you're just getting ready for training, one can argue that, taking in dextrose pre-workout is just as bad, and I'll agree with that. I really don't see the need for the insulin spike pre-workout. In fact, for myself personally, and this is anecdotally, empirically speaking, I find that simple sugars or dextrose hinder my workouts because it puts me into a hypoglycemic state and I find that my energy levels and my pump fade, whereas something like Carb 10 or even oatmeal will keep my pump and my energy sustained throughout the workout. So I think you should temper that. Now, if you are one of those people, now I've also had sick workouts after back in the day when I used to have them, having cheat meals. So I mean, there is something to be said for a bolus of carbs, fat, and sugar rolling into your system. But I also want you to realize that if you're not following your macros and you're overloading on these junk foods, you're probably going to overeat. And long term, if you're having ice cream and Pop-Tarts and donuts and whatever every day, and you're not stringently tracking your macros, that can lead to some pretty appreciable fat gains. So you need to temper it all. So the bottom line is whatever you feel works best for you. For me and for my clients, I prefer offering a lower insulin affecting carb, like a Carb 10 or an oatmeal or something like that. Intra-workout, same thing. Post-workout, if you want to spike your dextrose, that's fine. Spike your insulin, that's fine. You can use dextrose. Personally, I don't see a need for it unless you're injecting insulin, which I don't train people who do that. It's something that's a little too scary for me to get involved in personally and as a coach. However, I do find, and I don't think most people need insulin. I don't think people need insulin at all to reach their muscular potential. I really don't. I think anything that, and everybody says, whoa, you could overdose on it. Look, insulin is the one thing that bodybuilders take. You could take all the tests in the world, you're not going to die. Insulin, you have one bad injection or you figure you don't bring carbs with you, I mean, you could die. And I mean, I might be called stupid for saying it, but I just don't, it's my personal choice not to fuck with it on any level. I just don't want to have any hand in potentially killing somebody. That's not what I do. That's not what I signed up for. I don't need the money that bad to to advocate using insulin, and I don't think anybody should look at winning a bodybuilding show or getting bigger as something that is worthy of using something like insulin. That's just my opinion, and I know a lot of people think I'm stupid for it, but I know a lot of people think I'm stupid for a lot of other reasons, so it is what it is. But back to the topic at hand, back to the lecture at hand. I personally, if you're asking for my opinion, and not asking me to cite studies, you just want to go by what I feel works best for me personally and has worked best for my clients. I love my Carb 10. I love carbs like oatmeal, pre-workout, pre-event, pre-strength training, okay? But if you find that you operate better and you control your macros and hit your goal weights with a donut or ice cream, by all means, make it happen. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com! Because Krispy Kreme pre-workout, delicious. That's not a game!